Hello, are we live? Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. My name is MJ Edwards here, and welcome to the Ramley. So, we have some news to talk about, included stadiums, which is gonna get interesting. So, we're gonna try to make this less than an hour, but we can't guarantee that'll be the case, but we'll try our best to make this fast and painless as possible. So, um let's get started. All right. We are back. So, I wanted to show one stadium. But let's get started. So, let's see here. Reasons for optimism about Rams secondary after missing out on Jalen Ramsey. I'm only just reading the topics, and then we'll go right into stadiums. So, Chiefs spawn Olo falls shy of first in recent ranking. Next. Why are some of these not working? That's weird. Okay, there we go. Browns rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel already getting endorsement deals. The entire NFL will be watching the Cleveland Browns this season. The reason, their quarterback situation. Not that anyone cares if veteran Joe Flacco wins the starting job or not, or that Kenny Pickett, a former first round draft pick, who arrived in Cleveland via a trade, can beat Flacco out of the gig. Only Browns fans care about these two players. Next. Former Viking Randy Moss receives good news ahead of the 2025 NFL season. One of the greatest players in Vikings history and a fan favorite of anyone who loves the game of football is Randy Moss. The Hall of Fame wide receiver has had some health issues over the last year, most notably fighting bile duct cancer. Okay, I did not know this. But fighting, we'll get to that in a minute, what that means. But after beating it, he is ready for what is next. Ready for what is next. So, bile duct cancer. Okay, here it is. So, is a type of cancer that forms in the slender tubes, bile ducts that carry the digestive fluid bile. Bile ducts connect your liver to your gallbladder and to your small intestine. That's what that means. Alright, next. Indianapolis Colts first rounder compared to two famous draft busts. In 2023, the Indianapolis Colts hired a new head coach in Shane Steichen, the former offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who was expected to bring a fresh offensive approach to the team after helping the Eagles to a Super Bowl run the previous year. They also used the fourth overall pick on quarterback Anthony Richardson out of University of Florida. Next, quiet storm is brewing over the Commanders that demands immediate success. The Washington Commanders are going all in for another deep postseason run in 2025. But after that, everything could change. There is one lingering cloud hanging over the Commanders that raises urgency to get the job done next season, and nobody is talking about it much. Cliff Kingsbury galvanized his career in Washington. Questions was raised about the offensive coordinator following the hire, with some proclaiming he was undeserving of another big NFL job so soon after he was fired by the Arizona Cardinals. It didn't take long for those critics to eat their words. Kingsbury masterminded one of the league's most efficient offenses. He claimed he played a significant role in quarterback Jaden Daniels having a rookie campaign for the ages. His aura, work ethic, and redemption story made Washington the perfect fit, and other teams took notice. Commanders could lose Cliff Kingsbury to a head coaching gig in 2026. Which he could. Okay, according to this, it says he could transfer from the Commanders to the New Orleans Saints, which will be interesting, I think. But it says this: Commanders could lose Cliff Kingsbury to a head coaching gig in 2026. Kingsbury turned down head coaching interviews. He reportedly spurned the New Orleans Saints vacancy to see out the project in Washington. The play caller is happy with the Commanders. But one NFL analyst, though, thought this might change in 2026. Next, report. Packers is to review new throwback uniforms and helmets on July 23rd. To start of training camp for the Green Bay Packers might also include the unveiling of a new throwback uniform look. According to sportslogo.net, the Packers will reveal throwbacks, helmets, and uniforms for the 2025 season on Wednesday, July 23rd, which is also the date of the first practice of training camp. From Andrew Lynn of sportslogo.net. Meanwhile, on July 23rd, the Green Bay Packers will also reveal new throwback helmets and uniforms. While we initially believed the new helmets would be paired solely or whatever, with their current 1950s throwback uniforms, it's worth nothing. The Packers have one jersey slot available, and notably wore gold jerseys with green or gold pants that season as well. Lind reported in June that the Packers will likely wear an airbrushed helmet, which that's interesting. Reassembling the leather helmets of the 1950s. Previously, the Packers wore all gold helmets with the 1950s era of throwbacks, while Lind initially believed the Packers would simply add the brown helmet to the current worn throwbacks. He's now leaving open the possibility of a new uniform altogether, possibly one with more gold in the tops or bottoms. The Packers wore traditionally brown-coated helmets with the blue and gold throwbacks during the 2011 and 2012 seasons. Last season, the Packers introduced a new all-white helmet, which was worn twice during the regular season. Next, Commanders. Big swing VIA blockbuster trade headlines. First, NFC East East boldest bets this offseason in what's shaping up to be a full-blown arms race in 2025. The NFC East is shaping up to be a bloodbath in 2025. The reigning Super Bowl champion, the Philadelphia Eagles, are looking to run it back, whereas the Washington Commanders are looking to run them down. The Dallas Cowboys are healthy and reloaded in some key spots, hoping to return to their winning ways as a double-digit win team this season, and who could forget the New York Giants, who appear to be brimming with talent on defense and have new quarterbacks on hand to try to spur growth from the offense. With so much ambition packed into one division, you you've seen some bold maneuvering across the NFC East, but what is each team's most bold decision this offseason? Here is my picks. The boldest move, drafting LB Jihad Campbell, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Washington Commanders, the boldest move, the Laramie Tunsil deal. The Dallas Cowboys, the boldest move, not extending Micah Parsons yet. The New York Giants, the boldest move, the secondary overhaul. Jackson Dart. And the next topic. Where Rams DC Chris Shula stands among other coordinators. The Los Angeles Rams have one of the most well-respected head coaches in the league in Sean McVay. As one of the youngest head coaches in National Football League history, McVay has already helped several other coaches gain prominent roles around the league. He has another up and coming coach and defensive coordinator, Chris Shula. Although relatively inexperienced, Shula comes from a legendary pedigree and has already demonstrated improvement in a short time on the job. It is Shula's first time serving as an NFL defensive coordinator, but he is already producing a defense that most consider on the rise. Jacob Infante of the Pro Football Network recently ranked all of the defensive coordinators in the league. He ranked Shula the 26th best. The Los Angeles Rams have some enticing young talents on their roster, but it hasn't all come together from them as a unit on defense yet. Higher expectations should come for Chris Shula in his second year as their defensive coordinator, Infante said. Next. It's not even training camp, but Rams defense already disapproving 3 critics. The Los Angeles Rams are entering the second season for newly hired defensive coordinator Chris Shula, and that has proven to be a problem in objectively assessing this unit. Had the Rams hired a defensive coordinator from outside the organization, the adaptation of new defensive strategies, tactics, familiarity, and comprehensives would be a given waiver. In essence, everyone would be willing to give this defense some slack. Next. Hold on a second, guys. Let me refresh some of these so we can keep going. Keep moving along. Anyways, new Packers edition already looks underpaid before playing a snap. The Green Bay Packers don't give into free agency often, but they made a few exceptions this season, coming off an 11-6 season where they finished third in their own division. The Packers were aggressively by adding offensive guard Aaron Banks and cornerback Nate Hobbs on big money contracts. While the Packers are hoping that both players can make an impact, some of their additions have gotten off to the best start. But in case of Hobbs and minicamp, performance has generated praise from his new team and has him looking underpaid before he even plays a snap in Green Bay. Nate Hobbs had an impressive start during Packers minicamp. Next, Browns writer believes teams should be kicked out of the AFC North. All the Cleveland Browns can hope for during the 2025-2026 NFL season is that they improve. After another disappointing season a year ago, the lights will be on in Cleveland. For Kevin Stefanski, Shador Sanders, okay. If he gets an opportunity to play Myles Garrett and everybody else important on the roster, the Browns have to be a better A? Are the Browns still a fit in the tough AFC North? Why Browns fans should have hope for the future, which we'll talk about in a minute. Hold on. We'll put that aside because it talks about the stadiums and I want to talk about those last. So next, Rams draft pick Rams ranks as one of the best ever. The Los Angeles Rams are responsible for some of the best NFL draft picks in league history. Eric Edholm of NFL.com recently listed the top 5 NFL draft values of the millennium at the interior defensive line. He ranked the Rams' selection of Aaron Donald with the number 13 pick in the 2014 NFL Draft as the number 1 choice. Only 12 players were selected before Donald's name was called in the 2014 draft. So it's understandable if people want to argue the definition of value here. But what clinches it for me, Donald was a truly generational player. Arguably among the best defensive standouts in league history, Edholm said. Next, Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph pays respect to Micah Fitzpatrick in touching farewell. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler. A mindset quarterback, Mason Rudolph, took the heart when saying farewell to his former teammate, Minkah Fitzpatrick. 2 days after Pittsburgh traded away Fitzpatrick for the Dolphins, Jalen Ramsey and Juju Smith Rudolph took the social media to say goodbye to the ex-Steelers safety. Ultimate Pro Ultimate Leader. See you when I see you, Minka. Their paths has been somewhat interconnected. Fitzpatrick was traded from Miami to the Steel City in 2019, the same year Rudolph received his very first start as a Steeler. Rudolph will have the first chance to see Fitzpatrick this season, but on opposing sides with when the Steelers host the Dolphins on Monday Night Football in Week 15 on December 15th. The Steelers will reportedly roll out their trio of talented quarterbacks to replace Fitzpatrick's presence on defense. But there's no replacing the leadership and dictation he brought to Pittsburgh. Alright, next. Ranking the NFC West, where do the Rams stand? The Los Angeles Rams have come from being a rebuilding franchise to one of the best teams in the NFC within the last 3 years, thanks to the drafting of impact players from Les Snead and the resilient coaching and play calling of head coach Sean McVay. The Rams are now in a champion pursuit once again. This was a team that was within a minute of reaching the NFC Championship and hosting the Washington Commanders for a chance at reaching the Super Bowl. It is a roster that can get there again, with the group of young talents they possess. However, the rest of the NFC West improved, which could make their push for the division crown that much tougher. That much tougher. The Los Angeles is the favorite in the division. But how does the rest of the division stack up behind them? Take a closer look at the rank of the NFC West teams. Number 1, Los Angeles Rams. Number 2, Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, San Francisco 49ers. Next. Skepticism grows about Kenny Pickett's role with Browns. The Cleveland Browns needed to shake things up at quarterback. They got the ball rolling by trading Dorian Thompson-Robertson to get Kenny Pickett, who must assumed would be a backup. However, the Browns talked about him as the potential starter, and that didn't change when they signed Joe Flacco and added Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft. Pickett has gotten plenty of first-team reps in off-season practices, and the reports have been positive. However, analyst Matt Fontana isn't buying the hype. Instead, he claimed the Browns might be trying to entice another team to trade for the quarterback. They're continuing to push the narrative of Kenny Pickett so they can trade him back out. I think they want to push that. Oh, Kenny, can this take? Can, oh, Kenny can take this job. If the Philadelphia Eagles, who needed a quality backup and decided a guy named Tanner McKee was better than Kenny Pickett for the backup quarterback role. What does that say about Kenny Pickett? Fontana said. As harsh as it may seem, Fontana does have a point. Pickett hasn't looked like a starting caliber quarterback since he entered the league as a first round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. While it's fair to argue he was never put in a position to succeed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, there were already doubts about him when he was in college. He recently turned 27 years old, and some quarterbacks break out after struggling during the first stage of their career. So there's still a chance that Pickett will turn out to be viable. Then again, given the Browns' current situation, perhaps they're not the kind of team they that can afford to roll the dice. The Browns need a quarterback for the future, and if Pickett isn't that guy, then they can't waste time acting like he is. Next. Vikings pass rush duo pulls down national love. The Minnesota Vikings once again employ one of the top edge rushing twosomes in the NFL. Bleacher Report sized up the league's best pass rush duos, and the Vikings made the list. Their edge combo is finally drawing national attention, a welcome sight. One might have to recall the days of Daniel Hunter and Everson Griffin to find the last time the Vikings employed two equally ferocious edge linemen. And according to Bleacher Report, the combination of Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Greenard is good enough for the league's fourth best edge pair heading into 2025. NFL pass rushing ranks Vikings at number 4. Bleacher Report gave the Vikings their edge flowers this week. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Greenard grabbed number 4 ranking among edge duos. Andrew Van Ginkel in 2024. His Paul Jonathan Greenard. Those are the topics. Hold on. Denver Broncos take home top spot. And that's it. Next. Let's get honest about the Rams' defensive back room. After the Los Angeles Rams refused to make a move for any defensive back this offseason, stating they had no intention of adding any player outside of Jalen Ramsey, the team will enter training camp with the players they have deemed good enough to produce a championship effort. Ramsey, of course, was traded from the Miami Dolphins to the Pittsburgh Steelers, ending all talks between the Rams and South Florida. As Ramsey joins to the same division Jair Alexander currently resides in another top level defensive back that the Rams rejected from the get-go. Rams will likely rotate Darius Williams, Ahkello Witherspoon, Cam Curl, Cam Kitchens, Quentin Lake, Kobe Durant, Jalen McCullough, Emmanuel Forbes, and Darian Kendrick, and the secondary with Sean Jolly and others potentially carving out a role for themselves. The discussion within the Rams fan base is split, with many expressing concerns of straight up disapproval with the current state of the defensive back room. It's understandable why Rams fans feel this way, as it seems Les Snead has taken the very lax approach to his secondary since Super Bowl 56, LVI. Before the Rams won football's greatest prize, we all watched Snead wheel and deal defensive backs like it was no one's business, with players like Ramsey, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, John Johnson, and others roaming the secondary. In recent years, Snead has done some odd things. Trey White was a failure, but I'm not going to criticize Snead for that move. It was always a gamble. However, it feels like whenever there's an issue, especially over the past 2 seasons, the Rams' solution was to sign Ahkello Witherspoon and keep it pushing. While the Rams have made several big-time additions, the lack of prioritization the Rams organization has had towards their linebackers is now being transferred to their defensive back room. Now I'm not as negative as others regarding the defensive back room. I think they're built to do what they are designed to do. From a shell that takes away easy throws, forcing quarterbacks to fit balls into difficult pockets of space while the Rams' dominant defensive line gets home, which is great for the regular season. But as we all witness in Super Bowl LIX, the game was changed for the Eagles when the defensive backs turned from forming the shell into straight up inducing turnovers. There is a fear that a perceived lack of quality in the secondary may force the Rams to squander opportunities that other teams capitalize on. However, I think we're not seeing the big picture. Look at the investment in the linebacker room. It was my opinion that Chris Shula is going to put more safeties on the field to form his shell, while blitzing Durant and Witherspoon on a continual basis, while dropping the linebackers into coverage. Shula wants to introduce turnovers through post-snap picture changes from the coverage, something he can only do with committed players. It is my belief that it's character that drives Snead's vision for the room. He doesn't need the big name cover guys. He needs players who are committed to following the scheme and not doing their own thing. That's why he didn't add anybody. It was always about maintaining the culture and manufacturing pressure with players who would give their all. That's why Witherspoon is back. That's why Ramsey isn't with the Rams, along with fiancés. He needs straight up villains, what I don't know what that means, but um, in the secondary that what want to put people on their behinds, and to be frank, he has them. Whether that pays off will be a defining point of the season, but expect nothing less than brutal play in 2025. Next, why Georgia Bulldogs NFL rookie is in a contract dispute. The Detroit Lions selected Georgia Bulldogs offensive guard Tate Ratledge in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The Lions and Ratledge remain locked in a contract dispute as Detroit's start to training camp July 26 nears. Ratledge is slotted to earn approximately $7.65 million over his 4-year rookie contract. However, has not signed his deal, joining the vast majority of NFL second-round picks this summer. Less than a month from training camp, only 2 of the NFL's 32-round draft picks have signed, said ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Deals are stalled over whether or not contracts will be fully guaranteed. The only 2 2025 second-round picks now signed are Cleveland's Carson Swaginger and Houston's Jaden Higgins. New Orleans Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Show, a second-round pick, is seeking to have his contract fully guaranteed, so could start for the Saints as a rookie and has leverage. The resolution Slow's contract situation appears to be what the rest of the second-round picks are waiting on. The Lions are expected to eventually resolve their contract disagreement with Ratledge, Detroit's starting center last year. Frank Ragnow retired and the Lions could start Ratledge at center. However, Ratledge never played at center during his career at Georgia. The Lions would prefer to have Ratledge, who participated in training camp, so he can adjust to playing center and learn Detroit's system. Next, insider Steelers TJ Watt wants to be highest paid non-quarterback contract. Timetable revealed. TJ Watt isn't looking to just surpass Myles Garrett as the highest paid defender. His bar is set even higher. He wants to become the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL room. This latest development was provided by insiders Gary Dulac, who shared a behind-the-scenes look at Watt's negotiations with the Steelers on Tuesday's episode of The Rich Eisen Show. The stalemate is going to be that TJ Watt wants to be the highest paid non quarterback in the league. Dulac said, and the Steelers are looking at it that his age 31 in order to accommodate any kind of large contract. It can't be a 3-year deal. It has to be a 5-year deal because you need to spread money out in terms of the guarantee and signing bonus over 5 years and not 3. And now you're looking at TJ Watt being age 36. Dulac then predicted a timetable for the deal between the Steelers' last preseason game on August 21st and the season opener on December 7th. If Watt wants to become the highest paid non-quarterback, he'd need to surpass Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase is $40.25 million per year, which is no easy task for Pittsburgh to make happen. That's funny. It's funny, but it's also interesting. Anyways, moving on. Next quarterback. Former Bengals starter among ESPN's analysts. Top 5 free agents remaining with NFL training camps right around the corner. It came as no surprise to see the Cincinnati Bengals move forward without cornerback Mike Hilton. Cincinnati and Hilton shared a productive 4 years together, with the former Pittsburgh Steelers undrafted free agent manning the nickelback position of Lou Anarumo's defense. After Anarumo was relieved of his duties at the beginning of the offseason, the Bengals allowed Hilton's contract to expire. No one blinked an eye in Cincinnati. And then the comment that Mike Hilton put says new opportunities as present themselves. Then it says what is at least slightly surprising to see is Hilton still be available on the free agent market. A quick glance shows us there aren't many better veterans to sign. Former Bengals CB Mike Hilton among best available free agents. The top of the free agent market of actually crowded in the secondary, ESPN Matt Bowden included 6 defensive backs in his top 17 free agents left on the market. Hilton comes in as the 3rd quarterback and 4th overall best player. A slot corner who plays with a sense of urgency, Hilton has 12 tackles for loss and 8 pressures last season. He has a natural feel for playing in space as a coverage defender with the aggressive mentality to tackle and blitz on the edges. In 8 seasons, Hilton has 13 interceptions, 11.5 sacks, and 34 pass breakups. ESPN Matt Bowden. The most likely reason for Hilton being unsigned is his age. He turns 31 right now. Free agency began and a cornerback on the other side of 30 always gravitate significant interest. Timing is also a factor here. For experienced players like Hilton, it's not entirely necessary for them to be with a team throughout a complete off-season program. Many choose to wait until the middle of the training camp or even right before the season to join a club in need of their services. Hilton showed he could still play last year despite the chaos surrounding him in the Bengals defense. He wouldn't be considered one of the best remaining options if he completely fell off during his last year in Cincinnati. It's only a matter of time before he lands on a third team of his impressive career. Training camp starting up in 3 weeks could be what spurs Hilton's phone to ring. Next, new Cincinnati Bearcat football uniform surface. Cincinnati, a new apparel deal between Cincinnati and Nike started this week, promoting some fresh football threads from the whole team. For the whole team, Jason and Travis Kelce got a chance to show a part of the lineup on their latest episode of New Heights. Check out the new black jersey below as Cincinnati gets ready to open the season in late August against Nebraska. That looks cool. Oh my gosh. That looks interesting. Okay, we'll show you guys in a minute if we can. Actually, I'll just post it on my Twitter page. Right now. Yep. They just released the Green Bay Packers uniform or the helmet. It looks weird, but also interesting too. That's what we're looking at right now. Okay, it's gone now. New Orleans Saints get new alternate uniforms and helmets just before training camp. Let's see what this is. Will it show us? No, it won't. Yeah, it won't show us. Okay. Alright, now, guys, this means the end. So, we're gonna talk about stadiums now. So, why Browns fans should have hope for the future? Bailey has a few engaging points in this situation, and it's tough to blame him from a NFL standpoint. Domes in the AFC North is just wrong. The AFC North is arguably the best division in football, too. And the Browns aren't exactly contributing to that right now. If the Cleveland Browns struggle again, there's reason to believe that the AFC North might be pretty happy even with a dome. Not only would the NFL have an opportunity for them to land the first overall pick next season, which could help them finally find their franchise quarterback. But Cleveland has excellent fans who simply just want to win. There's plenty that can be said about the Browns, but one of those things can't be on their fans. Cleveland fans showed up no matter what, even if it was the worst, even if in the worst times when they shouldn't. If the Browns get the first overall pick in next year's draft, which ESPN recently predicted they had them selecting another quarterback, which is, I don't know what they mean by that. What that word? Deal, blank deal. We'll just say that. For Sanders and Gabriel, but might be a better for the long-term future of the franchise. Next, now we're going to talk about more stadiums that we've heard about. Oh, just kidding. We have one more thing to talk about. And then we'll talk about stadiums. Los Angeles Rams taking a huge risk letting Kyren Williams negotiation drag out this long. As NFL training camp approaches, the Los Angeles Rams are walking a fine line with star running back Kyren Williams, with contract extensions talks ongoing but no deal finalized. The franchise is gambling with a player who has become one of the NFL's most productive and indisputable, dispensable offensive weapons. That's weird. Anyways, it's been nearly a month since the Rams last provided a substantive update on negotiations. While Coach Sean McVay has described the talks as positive, the language is strikingly similar to what was heard about linebacker Ernest Jones last offseason, just before he was traded. The stakes with Williams are higher. The Rams have not had this level of backfield stability since Todd Gurley, and they haven't paid a back since Gurley's deal aged poorly. that history, a fear of repeating it, may be the hesitation now. Next. Okay, now we talk about stadiums, guys. We talk about stadiums, I promise. Um, so hold on just a second. From college to NFL. Alright, so hold on. Is it showing it on the screen, guys? I can't. Okay, no. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just talk about it. Alright. I was gonna show it, but it's not gonna let me, so. Wednesday's links. Does the AFC North really need a domed stadium? It's Wednesday, which means it's time for a weekly Steelers links roundup at BTSC. But first, let's take a look at the AFC North. Former Steelers running. Now on to some Steelers news and discussion. Former Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson refuses to play for the Ravens because he was too cold. Reporter. Report. Steelers have talked to Tyler Boyd this offseason. A perfect situation for Will Howard. Ohio governor signs budget that includes funds for Brown Stadium. There we go. From ESPN, Ohio Mike DeWine has signed a 2-year, $60 billion budget that sets aside $600 million in unclaimed funds for a new Cleveland Browns stadium. Last October, the Browns announced they informed the city of Cleveland of their intentions to build a state-of-the-art stadium and entertainment complex in Brook Park, which is in the same county but 15 miles south of Cleveland, when their stadium lease with the city expires at the end of the 2028 NFL season. The Browns currently play at Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland. The stadium was first opened in 1999, just 2 years before Steelers Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium. Now, the Browns are trying to move out of downtown Cleveland, and they have to the Ohio governor's approval. However, the city of Cleveland has sued the Browns to try and prevent a change. Why is everybody suing people now? Anyway, sorry. That's just so stupid. Like, you get so far, and then, oh, well, let's sue him for this. Let's sue him for that. No! No! Anyways, let's continue. Um, now the Brown. That just disgusts me, to be honest. Anyways, now the Browns are trying. Oh wait, we already read that part, right? Browns are trying to prevent the change. How does this concern the Steelers? Well, if the new stadium is built as planned, the Browns would become the first AFC North team playing indoors. Does the AFC North really need a domed stadium? Venues with roofs and more useful when it comes to becoming all-purpose event hubs, but when it comes to AFC North football, it goes against everything and division is built on. Toughest grit, cold weather, and there's plenty of evidence why that matters. Browns, Steelers, and Huntington Bank Field in 2024 provided one of the most memorable snow games in recent memory. And of course, many great Steelers Ravens games of the past wouldn't have felt quite as dramatic in indoor heating. Plus, the move would continue a frustrating trend of teams moving from the cities they're named for and into the suburbs. Of course, a whole lot more matters than just the vibes, but it's still a disappointing change to the AFC North. What are your thoughts about the Browns potentially playing in a dome? Comment down below. Anyways, next, new stadium binge. So the Buffalo Bills are getting a new stadium, open air, in 2026. Tennessee Titans Dome Stadium will open in 2027. Jacksonville Jaguars retractable roof will open in 2028. Cleveland Browns Dome Stadium will open in 2029. Then the Washington Commanders Dome Stadium will open up in 2030. The Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs plan on building new stadiums as well. Both franchises are seeking locations for their new stadiums as the Soldier Field lease expires in 2023 and the Arrowhead Stadium lease expires in 2031. With these franchises all developing new stadium plans, the Eagles could easily join the fray. Next, now we're going to talk about college. So, let's get into it. Gator um hold on guys, I'm looking. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, or the Swamp as it is known to the college football world, is one of the most feared venues in the sport, with its near 89,000 seat capacity and raucous crowd. crowd. Gainesville is always a tough place for visiting teams to play. Built in 1930, the home of the Florida Gators will undergo renovations to improve its fans' experience, and more over the next few years. This week, UF Athletic Director Scott Rinklin spoke on the Gator Nation football podcast about upcoming renovation and ways to combat seat loss, which he said is an inevitable part of the project. Huh? Oh, we have like 6, 7 goals for the renovation of the swamp, which is 95 years old this year. The original part of that, Strickland said, we're investing in something that I think every Gator fan really holds dear. One of the stated goals is to minimize the impact of seat count loss. The planning on this construction project was first introduced in December 2023, when the University Athletic Association hired Crawford Architects to begin the development of renovation, construction, and phasing options. Strickland said the construction company and the UAA are in the design project, or I meant in the design and development phase of the project right now, which is the second of 3 parts in of the design. Well, wrap this up sometime in the fall, he said. At that point, we'll have a really good sense on budget. We'll have a really good sense on what we'll actually do. And once we come up with a financing plan, we'll be ready to start sharing that with Gator Nation. While the ninth year athletic director has promised to keep the same energy in the swamp, some fans have voiced their displeasure with the decline of seating capacity. However, Strickland has assured the losses will be limited and definitely worth the outcome. The renovation is the most ambitious project in the history of college athletics, he said. No matter the number of seats that are removed during the renovation, there is no doubt that defending sound of Gator fans will never fade. Next. Okay, that's not updated. Um Ranking all 16 Big 12 football stadiums from smallest to largest. Number 16, Nippert Stadium, Cincinnati. Number 15, Space City Financial Stadium, Houston. Number 14, David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium in Kansas. Oh, you want me? Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Back to number 16, Nippert Stadium, Cincinnati. Capacity 38,088. Built in 1915. 15. Space City Financial Stadium, Houston. Capacity 40,000. Built in 2014. Number 14, David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium in Kansas. Capacity 40,000. Built in 1921. Number 13, McLean Stadium, Baylor. Capacity 45,140. Built in 2014. Number 12, FBC Mortgage Stadium, UFC. Capacity 45,301. Built in 2007. Number 11, Among G. Carter Stadium, TCU. And my computer just froze. Hold on just a second, guys. I think it's the live stream. Oh, no, it's Twitter. Goodbye. Not ready for you yet. Okay, back. So, number 10, Bill Snyder. Wait, no, we were. Among G. Carter Stadium, TCU. That's where we are at. 46,000 capacity. Built in 1930. Number 10, Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Kansas State. 50,000 capacity. Built in 1968. Number 9, Folsom Field, Colorado. Capacity 50,183. Built in 1924. Number 8, Arizona Stadium, Arizona. Capacity 50,800. Built in 1929. Number 7, Rice-Eccles Stadium, Utah. Capacity 51,444. Built in 1998. Number 6, Boone Pickens Stadium, Oklahoma State. Capacity 52,202. Built in 1919. Boone Pickens used to have seating capacity up to 60,000. But it has decreased in recent seasons. Mountain America Stadium, Arizona State. Number 5. Capacity 53,599. Built in 1958. Number 4, Mountaineer Field at Milan Puskar Stadium, West Virginia. Capacity 60,000. Built in 1980. I didn't realize how many stadiums were as old as Ohio Stadium. Jones AT&T Stadium, Texas Tech. Capacity 60,229. Built in 1947. That was number 3. Number 2, Jack Trice Stadium, Iowa State. Capacity 61,500. Built in 1975. And number 1, Lavelle Edwards Stadium, BYU. Capacity 62,073. Built in 1964. And there's that. We already read that. And that'll do it for tonight, guys. It was way over an hour, I know. But that'll do it for today's live stream. Tonight's live stream. And I don't know why, because she said she would still be around me. This isn't it. So
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
Yeah.
baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I won't obey. You cannot tell me what I cannot say. I'm here to last, so yeah, I'm here to stay. I'll live each second like my final day. You can't take that away. Yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
This weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
Antidepressants may increase. Antidepressants